Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Certainly a lot has happened since we last met in April. The first order of business, though, is to have the board elect a chair for this meeting. So I will turn it over to the board members for that process.
I'd like to nominate Mike Mango to take the position of chair for this board meeting.
We have a nomination from Stephanie and a second from Danny. Those we'll call for a vote. All in favor of Mike as the acting chair for the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Mr. Chair, you have to run this meeting. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, everyone, and welcome to the July 17th, 2025 summer board meeting of the Brand USA board. I want to welcome everybody. I also want to take a second and recognize that it has just been barely over one short year since Fred took the helm, which was July 15th of last year. You certainly know how to come in and bring a calming influence at a much needed time, Fred. So congratulations to you for that accomplishment. And you've built such a fantastic and dynamic team around you in that short period of time. So thank you. We also want to acknowledge, obviously, there's certainly been a whole lot going on, as you mentioned, and especially since we met in April. I think I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our former board members for their service: Elliot Ferguson, Kristen Esposito, Alan Orr, Lauren Bailey, and Tim Mapes. We thank them for their service and acknowledge again and thank them for everything that they brought to the board. Today, we're going to Fred and his team are going to go over the current environment, give you an update on that. They're going to showcase some of their recent successes and then lay out the framework for the future. Before we get to that, though, I do want to call for a vote to approve the minutes from the April 3rd meeting. Those meeting minutes were distributed in the pre-read package, and I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as provided.
I'll bring a motion to approve the board minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. Again, thanks to everyone who has tuned in today. There's a lot to cover, so we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Fred.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, welcome to our board members to the summer board meeting, and to everyone joining us online, wherever you're tuning in from, welcome. As we mentioned, we have been through a lot since April. Certainly, most importantly, we Brand USA had to say goodbye to a friend and a colleague, and it is important to us that we take a moment to acknowledge him. As many of you know, Casey Canaveri passed away in early May after falling ill while leading a sales mission in Toronto for our Canada Connect program. And Casey, if you knew him, he was an incredibly valued partner and a true friend to so many in this community. And we continue to hold in our hearts his entire family, especially his wife, Christina, and his 3 young boys. The outpouring of support for Casey has been remarkable. And it is a testament to him as a human and to the impact he had across the industry, both here and in Canada. So we wanted to acknowledge him, and those of us who knew him certainly will never forget it. And while that certainly puts everything else into perspective, there has been a lot of conversation in the news around Brand USA recently. And I will address all of that in just a moment. But first, we need to get some procedural items checked off. And with that, let me ask our Chief Financial Officer, Don Richardson, to provide the FY25 financial report. Don, over to you.
Thanks, Fred, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to review our financial performance and projections for Brand USA through June 30th, 2025. Well, we await our matching funds for the current fiscal total. Total revenue year to date is $55 million. You can see the various categories. Cash contributions at $42 million, in-kind at $11 million, sponsorships at $1.4 million. I'm also pleased to report that our cash contributions are really slightly ahead of budget at this point. Our total year-to-date expenses is $154 million against the $190 million annual budget, and they're slightly ahead of budget at this point. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Fred.
All right, Don, thank you. Any questions of Don on the financials? I know the board gets to see these regularly. Okay, so I'll start with the obvious. We have a smaller board than last meeting, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for acknowledging our former members and their contributions. We are an operational board and in compliance with 6 active members, and we have a quorum of 4 present today. So I thank you all for your active participation. Like many of you, we were disappointed by the reduction in Brand USA's federal matching funds in the recent congressional budget reconciliation bill from 100 million down to 20 million per year. That is a significant shift, and it will require recalibration of resources and programming going forward. But let me assure the board, we are not standing still, as you will see today. We are encouraged by our ongoing dialogue with every level of the administration and by the fact that the president's FY26 budget request includes full funding for Brand USA. And that's an important signal of support. We are optimistic that Congress will take up restoration this fall, and we know this industry will have a strong and unified voice in those conversations. And as we look ahead, we have a truly historic moment before us with America 250, the FIFA World Cup, and the Route 66 Centennial on the horizon. We have an opportunity to reaffirm the United States as the world's leading travel destination. And these events are more than milestones. They're powerful moments to inspire bookings and ultimately boost the economies of local communities across this country. And I'm especially excited and optimistic about America the Beautiful, our new whole of organization platform introduced last month at IPW in Chicago. It was a strong moment for Brand USA. I'm incredibly proud of the team for this work, from the press conference where we introduced the new campaign to our lunch program where we also highlighted it, our trade show booth and our one-on-one trade partner and media appointments. Our message was unified behind this singular thematic, America the Beautiful. Let's take a look.
We began our operations 14 years ago in May 2011 with a singular mission to drive inbound travel to the United States to strengthen the U.S. economy, bolster exports, create quality jobs, and build community prosperity.
We are proud to be part of what is a $2.9 trillion economic force. Brand USA's marketing efforts generated 1.6 million visitors, nearly $6 billion in direct spend, nearly $13 billion in total economic impact created by those travelers. Results like this illustrate our positive impact and show just how important Brand USA is for the industry and the overall U.S. economy. The story of what's new across the USA is a powerful one, and to build on that momentum, we must meet the moment and continue to inspire travelers in ways that resonate deeply. Today, we're unveiling a bold, new global tourism campaign, America the Beautiful. At its core, it's rooted in a simple truth. Visitors don't just come to see America. They come to feel it, to live it, to connect with our people.
There is a story waiting to be told at every corner of the United States. And thanks to your dedication, more travelers around the world are inspired to experience it for themselves. We look ahead to a milestone decade filled with historic anniversaries, cultural commemorations, and major global events over the next 10 years.
Now, the U.S. remains the top aspirational long-haul destination in the world. We're going to make sure it stays that way. America is ready to welcome, ready to connect, ready to inspire. Welcome to America the Beautiful.
There you have it. Super exciting. And in a few moments, our Chief Marketing Officer, Leah Chandler, will speak to ATB more. And we know our partners, though, are feeling some uncertainty right now. And our message to them is that we are building opportunities for them that are flexible, scalable, and are underpinned by this dynamic new platform. A week from today, in fact, we are hosting a webinar for domestic partners with more details on how they can integrate into our new programming for FY26. And if you don't have that information, please reach out to your account representative and we'll make sure that you get it. As I mentioned, we are engaged in conversations and collaboration at all levels of the federal government. Just last month, we signed an MOU with America 250, the nonpartisan initiative led by the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission. Together, we will showcase 250 years of America the Beautiful and bring the American story to life for international travelers in all its creativity and its promise. When we last met in April, the team was gearing up for Canada Connect East and West, our 2 large format trade engagements in Canada each year. Despite some discouraging headlines, what we saw on the ground was extraordinary enthusiasm from the trade. Canada remains our #1 source market by a significant margin, and our commitment there is strong. In May, we expanded our presence at IMEX Frankfurt for the MICE market, with 24 partners joining us to showcase the depth and breadth of the US for international meetings and events. Our enhanced footprint sent a clear message. The US is open, connected, and ready to host the world. More importantly is the message Europe sent back to us. Organizers let us know the USA had the third highest number of appointments of all countries at the show, telling us that interest in the USA as a defense destination remains strong. Also in May, we hosted nearly 100 top selling agents from across the UK and Europe for a destination immersion program, what we used to call Mega FAMs. We showcased 11 itineraries across 23 states and Washington, D.C. These are more than site visits. They're opportunities for qualified travel agents to turbocharge their US bookings. And just last week, I joined Adam Burke, our friend and colleague, the CEO of LA Tourism, on stage at Flight Center's global gathering for a conversation about inbound travel. This was the first time in a decade Flight Center has hosted their annual incentive program in the US, and I have to say LA did a terrific job in hosting them. Flight Center, as many of you know, is an Australian headquartered company, but is a truly impressive global player. Last year, they sold more than $29 billion in travel and operate in more than 80 countries across 30 brands. It was an honor to help host more than 2,000 of their top selling agents from around the world for this USA experience. And all of these things have tremendous economic impact. And we've made a commitment to finding ways to better demonstrate that and to tell the story of our impact. So I'd like to share with you just one of several videos recently produced that brings that story to life.
You answer your door and you never know who's going to be on the other side. The world comes to my door, I guess, is how I look at it.
The tourists that are coming to this country, they know what they want. They want these authentic experiences, but they don't know what to ask for because they don't know what exists.
Over the past year, we saw an increase from 19 to 22% in international travel, and I do believe that's contributed to our partnerships with Brand USA, because without those partnerships, we wouldn't have the capacity to sell our communities on our behalf.
International guests spending more money with us means that we are able to work on expanding the aquarium, creating new exhibits and new job opportunities for those individuals that live here in the Shreveport area.
And I believe that a small business like mine is the engine of prosperity. It's about giving them a whole experience of what we're about in Shreveport right here in my 2,000 square feet.
We get a lot of people from all over the world. It's a great thing to be able to experience and get them to experience us. We can experience them. I mean, it's what the world's all about. It's a big Creole gumbo melting pot.
I think a lot of people are finding that Dallas is more dynamic than it's ever been. It is fantastic to partner with Brand USA to be able to showcase the entertainment that we offer to everybody far and wide.
Deep Ellum is a small business playground. When a customer says, I'm looking for this, he'll say, oh, go here, go here, go here, go here. It's very beautiful how much we help each other. Southern hospitality is our #1 thing.
What Brand USA is doing, it's amazing because it's not only giving us the opportunity to shine and open up more jobs for the community, but also for everyone to come in and experience what Dallas is like.
You see people from all walks of life walk out and just see kind of the love for the American people as a whole.
So for us, international travel, it represents just north of 20% of our transient business. But without that business, we would be in a much, much different place. They stay longer. They spend more.
Houston receives about 2.4 million annual international visitors that have an enormous economic impact on our city. Our partnership with Brand USA is extremely powerful and it's extremely valuable for us because we are trying to get those visitors to come to our city.
The economic impact is not just for the airport and it's not just for the hotels. It's for the restaurants, it's for the shopping, theaters.
I love walking through the center and overhearing conversations about the experiences people are having here and hearing excited, enthused voices. And I always say we're about awe and wonder.
Very good. So you can find this video and other community impact stories on our corporate website, thebrandUSA.com. Now, I would like to introduce my colleague, Chelsea Benitez, our Director of Consumer Research, to give us an update on the latest insights on international visitation, airline seat capacity, and consumer sentiment. Chelsea, over to you.
Thank you, Fred, and hello, everyone. It's great to be with you today. To set the stage, let's take a look at the most current data on U.S. inbound visitation for 2025, both year-to-date performance and the forecast. From January through April of this year, the U.S. welcomed 21.6 million international visitors, a slight 1.1% decrease compared to the same period in 2024. Canada saw a steep decline at minus 15%, while Mexico grew by 15%, helping offset the dip. Overseas markets collectively held steady, with only a 0.2% decline, pointing to underlying stability outside of Canada and Mexico. Overseas visitation is available through June, offering a more current look at performance from long-haul markets. The U.S. welcomed 15.9 million overseas visitors in the first half of 2025, down just 1.2% year over year, with the top 20 markets down only 0.3%. Signaling continued resilience. The UK remains the largest overseas source market so far in 2025, with 1.9 million visitors in the first 6 months. Italy showed the strongest year-over-year growth amongst the top 10 overseas markets at 9%, while South Korea and Germany saw the largest declines. Tourism Economics' current forecast for 2025 projects 66.5 million international visitors, an 8.2% decline from 2024. However, this decline is expected to be short-lived, with growth forecast to resume in 2026 and continue into 2027. It's also worth noting that after a sharp downward revision earlier this year, the forecast has inched upwards since March, with nearly 1 million visitors added back into the forecast between March and June of this year, a positive sign of stabilizing expectations. In 2025, Canada and Mexico remain the forecasted top international source markets for the year, despite year-over-year declines. Meanwhile, India, Brazil, and Japan are among the few markets in the top 10 projected to grow. Now, let's take a look at a key factor that supports inbound visitation, airlift, which continues to strengthen in 2025. Nonstop seat capacity hit record levels in 2024 and is continuing to grow in 2025. Today, the U.S. is connected to 262 airports across 103 countries, with over 163 million nonstop seats available. This level of connectivity is a strong indicator of recovery and market accessibility. On an annual basis, 2025 inbound seat capacity is tracking 2% above 2024 levels. February of this year was the only month so far to see a decline due to the calendar shift caused by the 2024 leap year. Looking ahead, all other months of this year are expected to outpace last year, reinforcing a positive air capacity trend. On an individual market level, Mexico leads all markets in nonstop seat capacity to the United States, followed by Canada and the UK. Most of the increases year over year come from countries with strong US outbound traffic, like Italy and the Dominican Republic. The UK and Canada are the only top 10 markets showing slight year-over-year declines in available seats. Lastly, I'd like to share a few key highlights from our ongoing consumer sentiment study. Each month, we field an online omnibus survey among the general population in 10 key international markets, including Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, India, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, and the UK. This survey helps us track perceptions of the United States as a travel destination and understand how sentiment may be shifting over time. We begin our survey by asking travelers how likely they are to take an international leisure trip in the next 12 months. Looking back, the full year average intent in 2023 stood at 57%, and this increased slightly to 58% in 2024, signaling a modest but meaningful uptick in global travel interest. As we entered 2025, intent remained relatively strong, peaking at 59% in January, higher than both prior year averages. However, a gradual softening has emerged over the course of the second quarter, with intent dipping slightly each month and settling at 55% by June. While this shift isn't dramatic by any means, it is something we'll continue to monitor as we move into the second half of the year. Among those who say they're likely to travel internationally, we ask which countries they're considering in that visit in the next 12 months, including the United States. In 2023, our respondents' average intent to visit the United States was at 29%, meaning 29% of those who were likely to take an international trip indicated that they would like to go to the United States. This percentage held steady into 2024 at the same level. In early 2025, however, we saw a clear softening. Intent dipped by 5 percentage points, from 28% in January of this year to 23% in April. More recently, though, we're seeing early signs of stabilization. Intent ticked up slightly in May and again in June, reaching 25%, a modest but meaningful improvement. While we're still not back to 2024 average levels, this recent lift suggests positive momentum as we head into the back half of 2025. Despite some of that softening in overall intent, it's important to note that the United States continues to lead as the top destination globally for international leisure traveler. The US continues to rank #1 across all of our 10 market average countries, and it holds the top spot as the main destination they want to visit in key individual markets like Brazil, Canada, Japan, and Mexico. It's also the most likely long-haul destination for travelers in France, Germany, South Korea, and the UK, a strong signal of continued global appeal and competitive positioning. Thank you so much. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Chelsea, very much. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm now going to pass it to Leah to walk us through our new platform, America the Beautiful.
Thank you, Fred. America the Beautiful, as has been mentioned, is an all-new brand-level, organization-wide platform from Brand USA that is designed to meet this unprecedented moment in travel. From our partnership programming to our trade initiatives and communications and our public relations, America the Beautiful will anchor Brand USA's collective efforts in a powerful and, more importantly, relevant message that has been tailor-made for this critical juncture. We're at a pivotal moment in global travel. International travel to the US sits at the crossroads of historic challenges and opportunities. And although, as Chelsea just mentioned, travel is down from previous forecasts, many markets are showing signs of resilience. We know that the world is watching the US right now, and that can be a really powerful asset. But we need to better understand the current landscape, the traveler mindset, and emotional motivators to meet this moment. A number of factors, no surprise, including economic uncertainty, are creating a lot of headwinds for some prospective travelers, causing that international travel number to be down across a lot of our key markets over the next 12 months. Initial projections forecasted an increase in international visitors. However, this recent data is obviously painting a different picture, with only Mexico increasing. Our strategy acknowledges that although the current moment may not be ideal for some, travelers continue to choose the US from an increasingly competitive set of markets, high-value travelers in particular. International audiences are consuming American culture at a high level and are equally invested in upcoming marquee events. Our focus is to amplify that interest across high-propensity audiences to reignite travel. So what's our assignment? At this moment, the US travel industry needs a rallying cry. We know that international audiences still love many things about the US and are connected to the people through our culture and our stories. And while right now might not feel like it's the right time for some, there are others who have the means and desire to visit the United States, and those people will prioritize a visit here. We are asking a lot from this new campaign. It, of course, must drive direct economic impact and entice high-value travelers. It needs to transcend the media clutter, and you'll see that we're using Americana and nostalgia as themes to inspire. And of course, it must leverage the world's most iconic events that are going to be taking place across the US in the coming years. These marquee moments you've heard us speak about a lot will be viewed around the world, from America 250 to the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the Summer Olympics coming up in 2028, among many others. And each of these moments is an opportunity to highlight American legacy and greatness while showcasing the nation alongside its people and traditions. As far as creative approach, we know that visitors aren't just here to see America. They come for unexpected moments and human encounters that leave a lasting impression. They want to feel America. From city energy to small town warmth, travelers seek to experience the country's true heartbeat. We all know that connection matters. Today's visitors are craving authentic experiences. They want to engage with locals and cultures and stories that reflect our shared humanity. Travelers are after real moments and memories. The most meaningful travel moments are the ones they discover. They're not planned, and those become memories that live on and are passed down. Travelers are seeking purpose. More than being just passive spectators, they want to be a part of something bigger, to connect with the American story in a way that feels very personal and meaningful. And when we talk about how we will represent America through this campaign, whether it's visually or through words or through the experiences we're sharing, tone is everything. It's not just what we say, but how we say it that we know is going to shape perceptions and create real emotional impact. We want our tone to reflect the best of travel through optimism. America has a story to tell, and we want to do that with confidence that comes from the depth of what we offer as a destination. The campaign has to feel energetic, something people want to lean into and be a part of, never simply static. And finally, the campaign will amplify the pride and appreciation that we feel for our nation and people. But it's a humble pride, one that draws on our openness and passion for connecting with visitors and sharing our stories. It's America the Beautiful. It's not just a campaign, it is a bold invitation to experience something special, to taste, touch, and carry home experiences that become core memories. The country isn't meant just to be visited, it's meant to be felt. America the Beautiful captures that spirit through bold typography, unfiltered photography, and language that speaks with clarity and conviction. There are 1,000 ways to describe America, but only one way to truly know it, and that is by visiting. So what you've seen here isn't an actual campaign spot. We call it an anthem video that really embodies the heart and emotion that the campaign will project. Our strategy uses a multi-pronged approach to reach prospective travelers with the right message at the right time, starting with inspiration at the very top of the funnel, followed by interest-based messaging, and then informational content about entry and exit requirements. And then our partner-led efforts will really focus on bookings and conversion. With that, I'm going to turn the presentation back over to Chelsea, who's going to talk a little bit about our consumer research when we tested the concept America the Beautiful as a platform.
Thank you, Leah. As part of the concept development process, we conducted extensive creative testing to understand how the advertising resonated emotionally and behaviorally with our global audiences. This study was carried out through an online survey across 10 key international markets, reaching nearly 10,000 active leisure travelers. While the findings were extensive, I want to spotlight two particularly important data points. The first is that the advertising received overwhelmingly positive feedback. Fully 72% of our respondents rated it positively, a strong indicator that the creative resonates across geographically diverse audiences. Just 6% expressed negative sentiment and 22% were neutral. That means that nearly 3 in 4 visitors had a favorable reaction to what we showed them, and very few rejected the message outright. This level of positivity, especially in a multi-market context, confirms that our messaging and imagery are on point. Additionally, beyond positive sentiment, we also saw a meaningful impact on intent. 67% of respondents said the creative alone increased their desire to visit the United States. This is a major success metric. Getting 2/3 of viewers to feel more inclined to travel is a clear indicator of persuasive power. The majority experienced a positive shift, reinforcing the campaign's resonance. Now over to Jeanette Rausch, our Senior Vice President of Innovation and Chief AI Officer.
Thank you, Chelsea. So what this campaign did was create an opportunity for Brand USA to explore the role that websites are going to play when we know that traffic to websites in general and to DMO websites specifically are seeing a decline. And that's largely due to the advent of AI and things like AI overviews in Google search, where we're creating this zero-click environment where people get the answer they are looking for without ever visiting our websites. We also knew that our primary website, visittheusa.com, was nearing the end of its useful life. So, how could we create a digital experience that's going to bring America the Beautiful to life, help travelers plan those multi-destination trips to the United States, and provide value for industry partners? So the AmericaTheBeautiful.com was built in just 6 weeks to launch at IPW. And this was with the goal of evolving from just providing static answers on a website to creating dynamic conversations. So there is AI trip planning tools integrated throughout the website. And it's not just a web chatbot widget in the corner of the website. So you will see contextual custom prompts for consumers throughout the site that launch guided exploration and planning. So it's creating a robust experience for our visitors and also giving Brand USA great access to first-party data insights about what travelers are searching for. The site's also leveraging AI translations. We have native linguist overviews and interactive mapping that help potential visitors better understand the connectivity to major gateways. So extending the length of stay and driving visitation beyond the major cities. Phase 2 of this evolution is already underway. So we're enhancing the maps for creating state and destination pages. We'll also be introducing audience personalization technology, additional video content to showcase the campaign creative, and an amount of new content, particularly around America 250, so that we're supporting our upcoming media launches. And then over the next 6 months, we're going to take key content from visittheusa.com and we're going to reimagine it on AmericaTheBeautiful.com. So we were able to leverage the dynamic tools, AI integrations, and the overall user experience that's going to create a world-class National Tourism Organization website. It's going to include extensive opportunities for partners to engage in that new site as we sunset the existing Visit the USA site at the beginning of next year, probably January. And AmericaTheBeautiful.com will become the new VisitTheUSA.com. I'll now turn the program back over to Fred.
Thanks, Jeanette. It's incredibly exciting, and my compliments and deep gratitude to the entire team for all the work that we're doing. You will see in the months ahead how we are also integrating all of the departments under this umbrella platform and messaging, and that includes trade, engagement, obviously comms and PR, certainly partnership, and everything that we're doing with the industry. And you'll hear more about that on the webinar next week. So I want to thank the team for all that they're doing. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be calibrating our programming to meet budget parameters, but our work absolutely continues at pace. The last quarter of this fiscal year is packed with a full roster of sales activities and roadshows this weekend. In fact, Malcolm heads out to lead our Japan and Korea sales mission next week, including special trainings in Seoul and in Osaka in coordination with the World Expo, which is incredibly exciting. So good luck, Malcolm, next week. That is a sold-out mission. Later this month, we will kick off the Great USA Road Trip in Australia with stops in Adelaide, the Gold Coast, and Perth. Adelaide has exciting new nonstop service to LA in particular that I know they'll be celebrating on that trip. Also a sold-out mission. In August, we have Chile and Argentina coming up sales mission. I think that one also is sold out. These are all great signs. And of course, October brings our annual Travel Week Europe and UK program back to London, October 20th through the 23rd. So I want to thank the industry for all their engagement and their support of those programs. And lastly, for our domestic marketing partners, 2 upcoming opportunities, one of which I've already alluded to. Next Thursday, July 24th, we have a scheduled partner webinar, as mentioned, to roll out the FY26 opportunities for engagement. Look for that information if you haven't seen it yet. Please do reach out to your partner rep. And for those attending ESTO, US Travel's ESTO program, we have a partner listening session scheduled for Sunday, August 17th at ESTO in Phoenix. So with that wraps up our report from the team and the staff for this summer meeting. I want to thank everyone for their support and for joining us today. And I'd be happy to take any questions, Mr. Chair, but I would turn it back over to you for that and for adjournment.
Thank you, Fred, and thank you to the staff. Again, I think you've seen, if you've been paying attention, in a very short period of time, the quality of team members that Fred has put together, just world-class in every way. And I want to thank all of you for your work. I know it has been hectic and uncertain at times, but you've kept focused, you're moving forward, and there is reason for optimism. If there are no other questions or comments from the board, I will accept a motion to adjourn the board meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you again, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.